This might be a hot take, but I have a conspiracy theory that the elimination of middle managers is the next step in the class war at work. Hear me out. We have all of these big tech companies laying off their middle managers, from Meta to Google to Intel, and it's thousands of people, with the sudden revelation, apparently, that middle managers are the problem and that people can't get things done, and this is why they need self-directed teams, and that this is going to be so much more efficient. But this is rarely what happens. I research the unwritten rules of work for the working class, neurodivergence, and intersections of race and gender, and one of those unwritten rules is the unwritten rules of informal hierarchy. Because when these companies do these distributions, they don't actually distribute ownership of the company, right? Very rarely does everyone suddenly have the same amount of stock options as everyone else and the same decision power. The idea sounds good on its surface, and I am a fan of true agile, but that's not what this is. This means now everyone could have the responsibility of the manager at some point without the pay or the title. It's concentrating power at the top of the organization with the guise of equity, and it limits your options for promotion. It's already hard to get up a career ladder that kind of maybe looks like this, but how much harder is it to get up one that looks like this? Managers do what executives allow them to and promote them to do and hold them accountable in doing. This isn't an increase in efficiency. This is class warfare. Executives get to keep their jobs. Non-supervisory workers now have to do more work with no real promotion path or pay. And it's rebranded as empowerment when very rarely do we see organizations that actually do a true agile setup with true shared ideas and power, because it's not about efficiency. It's usually about short-term cost reduction, concentrating power at the executive level, and eliminating worker advocates. Now, I understand why people don't like their middle managers, but what they don't realize is that they also don't like their executives. But the managers are the only face that they see. The problem with a lot of middle managers is they're not trained to be leaders, and even if they are, they don't have the autonomy to do so. Many of them are still expected to be individual contributors without having time to lead. And they're not empowered to make actual decisions, but they're always the ones that have to deliver the bad news. They provide a buffer between the people and the executives making the decisions. And I wonder if with getting rid of this, if that buffer goes away, will it impact the executives, or will people still feel too scared to do anything and now they're stuck? Managers are vital for translating the unwritten rules of the organization, but many of them are not good at this. And that is why I have worked with training them on translating between the strategic, vague, broad goals of the executives into tangible tasks for the entry-level staff to do, especially if they're from a working class background or neurodivergent. We need to train this group, not just eliminate them. And cheering for their demise just means you're next on the chopping block.